Welcome back, just in time to catch Olumide Macaulay with sports news.
Thank you, Amarachi. Welcome to Sports News. We start with tennis. Serena Williams demonstrated that having a baby had not impaired too badly on her tennis ability when she became the first mother in 38 years to reach the Wimbledon final. The former world #1 cruised past 13th seed Julia Georges 6-2, 6-4 in 70 minutes to set up a final clash with Angelique Kerber. Georges had come into the game having belted 199 winners and 44 aces more than anyone else in the women's draw. But those stats counted for little when she came up against an opponent who's chasing a record equaling 24 major Grand Slams. Meanwhile, Angelique Kerber proved too solid for Jelena Ostapenko as she reached her second Wimbledon final with a 6-3, 6-3 victory. The 30-year-old was gifted point after point as Ostapenko's aggressive game backfired in a blaze of unforced errors. A tight tussle looked in store at 3-all in the first set, but when Ostapenko fired a forehand long to drop serve, the match quickly ran away from her. To the World Cup Russia 2018 update, the Croatian government held a cabinet session today with ministers dressed in the red and white checkered jerseys of the Croatian national football team. The Croatian Prime Minister Andrej Plenković attended the semi-final game against England on Wednesday in Moscow, where the team reached the World Cup finals for the first time in its history. Meanwhile, Theresa May is planning to hold a reception for England after their World Cup heroics were finally brought to an end. The Prime Minister wants to invite the Three Lions to Downing Street after Gareth Southgate's men returned from Russia following their run to the semi-finals. A spokeswoman for the Prime Minister say they were in talks with the Football Association and left the door open for England's manager to get a knighthood. That's it on Sports News. Amarachi will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Thanks, Olumide. NATO allies have denied the U.S. President Donald Trump's claims that they have promised to substantially raise their defense budgets. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said in an interview members only committed to their 2% annual output on defense budgets. 4 years ago, members agreed they would all reach the target by 2020. Trump, at a press conference, hailed tremendous progress made by allies. Meanwhile, Syrian government forces are said to be retaking control of the rebel-held part of Daraa, said to be the birthplace of the revolt against President Bashar al-Assad. Rebels have been reportedly agreeing to surrender in return for amnesty or safe passage to the rebel-held north. The army has recaptured large swathes of Daraa's surrounding province since launching a major offensive on June 19th. According to the United Nations, as many as 234,000 people remain displaced by the fighting, 70% of whom have sought refuge in neighboring Quneitra province, near the frontier with the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Tens of thousands of other people who had been sheltering along the border with Jordan have returned to their homes since rebel fighters in Daraa agreed to lay down their weapons and accept state rule last Friday. And the main news again. President Muhammadu Buhari today launched Abuja Metro Rail Line in the city's central business district. The line is believed to be the first of its kind in West Africa. Also today, leaders of Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, protested against alleged attack on Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose by policemen. And President Donald Trump's victory claim over defense spending at the NATO summit in Brussels today generated dispute. That's it on the news at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.